What if the brightest object in our sky is actually a dead world, where everything went horribly wrong? Welcome to Venus, the planet that could have been a second Earth, but became a living hell. Venus is often mistaken for a star because of how brightly it shines in the sky, but in truth, it is a planet, and not just any planet, but the one that outshines all others when viewed from Earth. Its glow is so intense that it can be seen even during twilight, drawing our gaze upward and captivating observers across centuries, yet beneath that radiant light lies a planet of deadly extremes. The ancient Greeks were puzzled by Venus and believed it was two separate stars, one visible in the morning and one in the evening, not realizing both were appearances of the same celestial body. Later, astronomers discovered that this morning star and evening star were, in fact, the same planet reflecting sunlight with unmatched brightness through its thick and mysterious cloud cover. Venus is nearly the same size as Earth, with a similar diameter and gravity, which is why scientists often refer to it as Earth's twin, but its surface could not be more different. Unlike Earth, Venus is completely enveloped in dense clouds made of toxic gases that obscure our view and trap heat, making direct observation of the surface impossible from space. These clouds are so thick and reflective that they bounce back most sunlight, keeping the surface hidden and raising questions about what secrets might lie below. Early attempts to explore Venus with spacecraft met with failure, as the hostile environment destroyed many probes before they could transmit any useful data from the surface. The atmosphere of Venus is over 90 times denser than Earth's and consists mostly of carbon dioxide, creating a pressure at the surface that would instantly crush most machines. With temperatures reaching nearly 470 degrees Celsius, hot enough to melt lead, Venus is the hottest planet in the solar system, even though it's not the closest to the Sun. The clouds on Venus are not made of water like on Earth, but of dense sulfuric acid droplets suspended in a thick atmosphere. This acidic environment is both toxic and highly corrosive, making it impossible for life as we know it. Although it technically rains on Venus, the raindrops evaporate due to extreme heat long before they ever reach the surface. This creates a surreal atmosphere where the rain never touches the ground. Despite the planet's unforgiving conditions, the Soviet Venera 9 and Venera 13 probes successfully landed on Venus in the 1970s and 80s. They provided humanity with our first direct insights into this alien landscape. The Venera missions transmitted eerie, grainy images of a barren and cracked surface under a dense orange sky. These were the first photographs ever taken on another planet's surface other than Earth or Mars. Venus's ground is scattered with sharp rocks and long cracks, stretching across plains of hardened lava. An eerie orange glow, caused by the filtered sunlight, gives the entire landscape a hellish appearance. Many scientists wonder whether Venus was always this hostile, or if it experienced a dramatic transformation. Could it have once resembled Earth before taking a dark and irreversible path? There is evidence to suggest that Venus may have had liquid water on its surface billions of years ago. If true, this could mean Venus once had the potential to support life. Over time, intense solar radiation likely caused Venus's oceans to boil away, releasing massive amounts of water vapor. This vapor accelerated the planet's transformation into a dry and overheated world. The greenhouse effect on Venus spiraled out of control, trapping heat and raising surface temperatures to unimaginable levels. Unlike Earth, the process never stabilized, creating a vicious thermal loop. Beneath the surface of Venus, ancient geological layers may hold secrets lost for billions of years. These hidden records could reshape our understanding of the planet's evolution. Scientists don't rule out the possibility that traces of water remain deep beneath Venus's rocky crust. If so, these underground reservoirs could tell us more about its habitability. Some researchers believe that Venus may once have had tectonic plates like Earth. This could explain the unusual patterns found on its surface and hints of ancient motion. Today, Venus is considered geologically stagnant, with no plate movement or active volcanism. But recent findings suggest there might still be internal activity. Seismic data from Venus is extremely limited, making firm conclusions difficult. At this point, we simply don't have enough information to be certain. Some scientists theorize that Venus once had a magnetic field similar to Earth's. Such a field could have protected its atmosphere from being stripped by solar wind. Without this magnetic shield, Venus was vulnerable to the sun's harsh particles. Over time, this may have led to a dramatic shift in its climate and pressure. Losing the atmosphere's upper layers could have been a tipping point in Venus's history. From that moment, the planet began turning into the hellish world we know today. Long ago, Venus may have shone even more brightly in the sky than it does now. Its brilliance made it a natural object of fascination and reverence. Some ancient cultures worshipped Venus as a celestial deity. Its regular motion and intense glow inspired awe and symbolic meanings. To many, Venus represented both beauty and danger. Perhaps this perception was fueled by its unusual behavior in the sky. Maybe ancient people intuitively sensed something ominous behind Venus's light. Today, science confirms the harsh reality beneath its glow. We now know that the dazzling light comes from a dead, overheated planet in space. Beauty can be deceiving. Some researchers wonder, could humans ever live on Venus? The answer might depend on where we try to establish a presence. The surface is uninhabitable, but conditions at about 50 kilometers in altitude are more stable. This area could support floating research stations. At this height, temperature and pressure resemble those on Earth. It's a unique environment for potential exploration. While Venus's surface is too hostile, the atmosphere might allow temporary human presence. This changes how we think about habitability. The idea of a floating base in Venus's sky sounds like science fiction, but it's a concept actively discussed by scientists and engineers. NASA and other space agencies are developing airship and drone concepts to explore Venus's atmosphere. These missions could bring us closer to understanding our planetary neighbor. We may never set foot on Venus's surface, but exploring its skies is becoming a very real possibility. While setting foot on Venus remains unlikely, the idea of floating above its surface is becoming increasingly feasible. One day, humans may explore the planet from high above its deadly terrain. Venus is not only closer to Earth than Mars, but it is also more enigmatic. Its strange conditions challenge everything we know about planetary systems. By studying Venus, we gain insights into Earth's own climate and potential futures. Venus serves as a real-world example of how planetary environments can evolve dramatically. The planet shows us what can happen when natural systems spiral out of control. Venus is a model of environmental collapse on a planetary scale. It is a dire warning from a world so similar to our own, yet so tragically transformed. Venus reminds us that no planet is immune to change. Looking at Venus is like looking into a mirror of Earth's possible fate. If we ignore our environmental impact, our planet could face a similar destiny. But this future is not set in stone. We still have the opportunity to change direction and protect our world. Venus doesn't speak, but its silence says more than words ever could. It warns us through its atmosphere, its heat, and its stillness. The glow we see in the sky is more than just reflected sunlight. It is a quiet message across space and time, urging us to listen and learn. Venus reminds us that beauty and destruction can coexist. Its brilliance masks the brutal reality of its environment. It shows us what we stand to lose if we take our planet for granted. Even a world that once had potential can be lost forever. We continue to study Venus from a distance, gathering data through probes and observations, but the time may come to get closer. We wait, with patience and ambition, for the moment when our technology will allow a new kind of mission. One that dares to descend into the unknown. That moment draws nearer with each advancement we make. The dream of reaching Venus again becomes less science fiction and more science. And when we return, we may finally break through its veil of clouds. We may touch the mystery that has eluded us for generations. There's a chance we'll discover something entirely unexpected, something that changes how we view planets, or even life itself. Venus may yet surprise us. Or perhaps we'll find something strangely familiar, a reflection of Earth hidden in the atmosphere of a distant twin. That recognition could be profound. Venus remains the brightest object in our sky after the Moon, yet also one of the most hostile. Its dual nature fascinates and warns us. The mystery of Venus has not faded with time. It continues to call out, urging us to understand what lies behind its brilliant glow. The story of Venus is far from over. Each new discovery only deepens the mystery and expands our curiosity. One day, we may fully understand what Venus was like in the past. Its history might hold the key to understanding its present. And with that knowledge, we may predict what Venus could become. Such insight might also help us protect Earth's own future. Until then, we continue observing Venus from afar. Our fascination only grows with every year. We wonder what secrets still lie beneath those dense clouds. What truths are we yet to uncover? Perhaps molecules still drift in its atmosphere, remnants from a gentler era. Or even something that hints at the possibility of life. Or maybe its rocky crust hides evidence of ancient volcanic activity. These clues could reveal past cataclysms and lost landscapes. Sometimes silence speaks louder than words. Venus says nothing, and yet it warns us clearly. It stands as a scenario of what happens when no action is taken. As if to say, don't follow in my footsteps. Its silence is more powerful than a scream. It hangs above us in the sky, an invisible message. This silence teaches, even though it speaks no words, we only need to learn how to listen. And it warns, because Earth is not immune to the laws of the universe. The more we learn about Venus, the more we learn about ourselves. Exploring it is like looking into a mirror. We realize how little we truly know and how much we stand to lose. Venus is not just a planet, it is a lesson. It reflects both our fears and our hopes, and it shows what happens when we ignore the signs. It is a mirror of Earth and a warning of what might come. It shows us what we can achieve and what we might destroy. It reflects the consequences of our decisions, consequences that may be irreversible. It reflects the consequences of our decisions, consequences that may be irreversible. All of this is found in its fiery present and perhaps in its forgotten past. Look up at the sky. Venus is still there. It's a bright dot in the night and a reminder of how easily things can be lost. Remember, even the brightest light can come from a dead world, and even a beautiful planet can be deadly. Its glow may hide a deep tragedy, a message from space, waiting to be heard. Sometimes, light is born from darkness, and that light can teach us more than we expected. Venus burns within its own atmosphere, and yet, it still shines. Despite the inferno, it continues to emit light, and that light calls to us. It waits not for us, but for the moment we are ready to hear, and perhaps to understand. To some, Venus is just a dot in the sky. To others, it is a warning. Maybe one day we'll finally hear its story and learn the lesson it's been trying to teach us all along.